Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me here today. My name is Dr. Didi Obadan, Dr. Ndidiamaka Obadan. I'm the CEO and founder of Younger Self MD Medical Clinic, Health and Wellness, which is located in Georgia. And today I have the amazing Dr. Kerry Reller.
That's
Um,
right.
yeah, thank you for joining us here today. Would you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Yes, thank you for getting my name right because everyone ends up calling me Kelly. So I'm very happy that you nailed that one right to start. But yeah, I'm a family medicine and obesity medicine physician in Clearwater and Palm Harbor, Florida. Our practice is a little unique because we also do allergy and asthma, as my dad is an allergist, and I joined his practice several years ago and started my own family medicine practice in addition to the allergy and asthma. And then recently we brought on obesity medicine as I became board certified in that. And it's been a journey. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Well, thank you for joining us here today. So, I like to ask my guests to tell us a little bit about why you do what you do, like how you got here. What was the secret sauce, the magic spice, so to speak? Well, what made you go into your field and just tell me your whole story, your journey, or
Okay.
yeah.
Well, my journey into medicine is a little bit long and twisted. Basically, I think growing up, I liked math my whole life and in engineering. So I ended up doing engineering in undergrad, and I thought about doing all the pre-med stuff just in case then. But what I really wanted to do was biomedical engineering and be like the doctor of the pacemaker or someone who would create these medical devices.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I went through undergrad and then I even did a graduate degree in that. And it was supposed to be focusing in bioengineering. And then
Yeah.
I went out into the real world and I got a job. And it was not all I hoped it would be.
Hmm.
So, while I learned, a lot, I think I also was exposed to some other people who had different path toward engineering and
Yeah.
coming out of like Johns Hopkins, which is very heavily pre-medicine, and they have biomedical engineering. And I met some people there as coworkers at my engineering job, and they had told me about post-bac pre-med and how we could really utilize like our engineering skills with medicine. So,
Yeah.
um, instead of always wanting to be behind the computer screen, which is the big ironic thing now, because I'm always still behind the computer screen, I wanted to, directly help people, not in the
Yeah.
way that I had initially thought. So I went back and did a post-bac degree and did, med school after that. And I wanted to use my electrical engineering background for medicine, but my thoughts were cardiac electrophysiology. So basically, someone that, ablates heart rhythms and puts in pacemakers and things like that. And it was a really long road. And I'm like, I am too old to do that. So I
Yeah,
ended
that's
up,
many
yeah,
years for the audience. So let's just
years. Yeah.
explain to them what that entails.
Mm-hmm.
After you do your internal medicine, then so first let's start from med school. So you're gonna do
Right.
med school for about 8 years, right? Well, 4 years of first
Or,
degree
yeah.
and then 4 years of med school. That's eight. I always calculate it as
Yeah.
8 years. And then you do residency, which is another 3 years in
3 years. Yeah.
internal medicine, and then you become a cardiologist for the fellowship is about, is it 2 or 3?
Three. 3
3 years
years for
for
cardiology.
cardiology. And then now that's to
Yeah.
become a general cardiologist.
Right.
You have to do how many more years to do EP?
2.
Two more. Oh my goodness. What
Yeah.
are we talking about?
I'd have been like a million by then. So I was thinking of other options for sure.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So they work hard. So if you have to see an electrophysiologist, all the respect to them because they went to a lot of training.
Yes. Yeah.
But so my like passion in the other direction, like fitness and sports, and I was a big soccer player pretty much my whole life.
Oh,
And
interesting
I was
fact.
really interested in family medicine, and then I planned on sports medicine, right? Um, and the only thing that stopped me from doing that was, I got married, had a family in my last year of residency, and my dad, who was an allergist in Florida while I trained in Maryland, convinced me to move to Florida and learn what he does and not do a fellowship in sports medicine. So I took him on the offer, and here I am today. Yeah. But what I didn't know in residency was about obesity medicine.
Mm,
So I was so maybe driven on sports medicine. I don't think our residency was doing that much with the residents in obesity medicine, but there definitely was one of the attendings who was starting an obesity medicine clinic at the time. It's just like, it was so new. I don't think the residents were involved. So I felt when I found out obesity medicine, I was so mad. I'm like, why didn't I know about this in residency? But
yeah.
I did finally find my way to that. So I'm pretty happy about that. But so it was a little late than I think I would have liked, but I think it's also a really kind of comparable. It's a little bit like sports medicine, but we're treating, because I want to do like the health and wellness of an athlete, but now we're talking about the health and wellness of everyday population and people who struggle with their weight. So,
Right.
which is so related to primary care, which is also a lot of what I do as well. So that was a long journey to get to where I am today.
And now, well,
Yeah.
it was a very interesting journey and full of a lot of insights and learning. And now we're
Mhm.
in obesity medicine. It's a new
Mhm.
field. It's a growing
Yeah.
field, and I feel like it's very relevant with with the epidemic of obesity going on in America, and all the health consequences as a result of obesity.
Yeah.
Being able to just treat this one condition can get rid of so many other different things. So that's what you're specializing in right now, right?
Yes, but I still do a lot of primary care. So it's all mixed together. I'll see an allergy patient, I'll see a weight management or obesity patient, I'll see like blood pressure, diabetes, or, a well visit. And it kind of keeps the day in a nice variety. But
Yeah,
yeah, I do it all
exciting.
together. Mm,
Exciting. Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
That's great. So thank you for sharing that with us. And the next thing I normally ask my guests is for them to share some practical tips with our audience. So what tips would you like to share with us?
So my favorite things are going to be related to basically health and wellness, right? My most favorite thing is that I tell not just my weight management patients, but anybody really, is just listening to your body.
Right.
So if we are talking about weight, and we might be talking about nutrition, right? So I might be telling them like how to listen to hunger cues and listen to whether they're actually hungry to eat something, or is it just an emotional hunger, right? That they, don't actually need to eat something right now. They're just stressed or sad or mad or happy or glad or bored is the most common one, right? And they just want something in their mouth so they'll feel better, right? So I go through a hunger scale with them to kind of know not just if you're hungry at all, but like when to maybe start eating, and then also when to really realize when you're full and to stop eating. So that's
So what do
one
they
way.
need to
Mhm.
do? Like, so this person feels a certain desire, and
Mhm.
like, what do they need to do to determine if their put themselves on their hunger scale?
Well, the first thing I think is if you're going to reach for something and maybe you just ate, I think that's a good sign that, okay, it's
Snacking.
probably
Oh, is
not real
that
hunger.
snacking in
Right.
between, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is the pause. Like, hey, let's pay attention. Let's be aware of what's going on.
Right.
Am I hungry? And ask yourself that, right? The worst time for me is probably about right now, right? Because we're recording at 8 o'clock at night, and a lot of people struggle with night eating, right? So I will go to the pantry out of habit or something like that and try to get what I call a healthy cookie. But you know what? I realize I stop and wait. And I'm like, I'm not actually hungry. This is just to, I don't know, satisfy a habit, make me think it tastes good, give me a dopamine hit, which is, a nice response from the brain to make you feel better, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I try to pause there. Or the other way is, maybe it's not hunger, maybe it's thirst, right? So
Right.
to listen and see if you're actually thirsty instead of hungry.
Yeah.
So really it's just the pause and awareness is the first step. And then the hunger scale is, a little bit more in depth as well, trying to figure out you, right? Because it could change on a daily basis, but you got to really feel where you're comfortable. Hmm.
Okay, that's great. That's a great tip. So pause, figure out what's going
Hmm.
on, become more self-aware, determine if you're actually hungry or if you're thirsty before
Hmm.
you reach out to grab that meal.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that.
then listening to your body can also deal with pain, right? If you're exercising and you feel pain, you probably should not be continuing through it. You need to take a break and realize, what is there something wrong or something, whatever's going on as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very important. So a lot of people, when they're exercising, they push through the pain. They feel
Mhm.
like it's when they're having the pain, you need to, 'cause, you should, I mean, tell me, you're okay. So you have a background in sports medicine, so you need to feel the burn. I've had some some trainers, personal trainers tell me that, when you're doing the muscle, you need to feel the
Yeah.
burn for you to know that you've pushed yourself a little bit. But there's a limit, right? Because you don't want to
Yeah,
keep
I would
doing
say that. Like
yeah.
there's a burn and then there's pain, right? I
Yeah.
think you can still feel the burn and not be in pain, right? I don't know. I think at some point you realize, okay, this is too much. Um, but I mean, there's some class that I do that always like talks about, the burn and the shake or whatever. And then, they say that if you're not feeling that, you're not changing. And that's not really that true. So I think, if it goes to a point where it's painful, then something, is wrong, I
Mm-hmm.
think.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yes, especially I'm a nephrologist. So when you start having pain with
Mhm.
exercise and it persists, one thing you might be coming down with rhabdo. So
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so that's one of the things that I'm always cautious about and telling them, yeah, please, if you feel the pain, stop, rest, drink, take some water. Um, Not the burn. So we have to differentiate
Mhm.
the burn and
Yeah.
the pain, right?
I feel like that's like learning maybe your pain scale, right? And not just a hunger scale, but a pain scale. If you're like grimacing and sweating and, sweating from pain, then I think you're probably at your 10 of pain and you need to stop,
Need to
right?
stop.
Yeah.
Right, right. That's a great tip. And
Mhm.
what else would you like to share with us?
So I think the other thing is like support in whatever you're doing. You need support from a team, a group, maybe your doctor, right? Maybe your partner or spouse or family, and or friends or anything like that. I think I think a lot of people struggled in the pandemic, when they weren't having social support and social interaction,
Mhm.
and that it really affected them with anxiety, affected them with, depression and stress. And also, I mean, going back to weight management, support and accountability help and have people have more success with it, right? If your
Right.
whole family is engaged in creating new and better healthy habits, it's more likely to have success and you more likely to stick with it, right?
Yeah.
And if your doctor's on board too, right? If you have a provider that you can trust and who listens and will direct you in, better ways to help you, then I think that it is, a good fit, right? So someone like you, it would be a great fit for everybody. So I think you got to find out who works for you, right? But
Hmm.
really support in many ways. So social support, right? Um,
Oh,
and
that's a great
then
tip. Yeah.
mhm, yeah. That's a short and sweet one. I think everybody needs that. And it's true as growing as human beings, right? We're not meant to live in the cave by ourselves forever. It's, you need social interaction.
Yes, you do. I call it. So I recently went on a campaign to save the kidneys. I called it "Become Mad About Saving the Kidneys" (MAD), and
Mhm.
the M stands for move. A is the accountability,
Mm,
and D for diet. Because a lot of things. So that was my mnemonic that I came up with to get mad about saving the kidneys. And so what you're saying is it really resonates about having an accountability partner.
mhm.
And like you're saying, it could be in the form of your spouse, your kids. For me, believe it or not, it was my kids. One time,
I love that.
I know, right? I was shopping at the grocery store and I was just about to reach for one of those products. And my daughter said, Mommy, nope, don't take that. It was some chocolate or something. I love chocolate. And she was like, no, you should take something else. Why don't you take the fruits instead? So that was an example of, having people, because we've been talking about it, right? So we've been
Mm,
kind of coaching ourselves to live healthier lifestyle. So it's just going back to what you're saying, that the people around you, your support network, should also be on the same page as you to keep you in your good habits.
Yeah, I mean, even my patients make me keep accountable, right? I have to keep doing and practicing what I preach. So it's another accountability piece for myself as well. And to obviously, like you said, like setting that example for our kids too. And that's a tough one for me in the environment in which they're raised in right now. So
Really? What do you mean by that?
I think that well, this is a touchy subject for me, but if you want me to go into it, basically, I think they think that kids need snacks like all around the clock. And I think everybody thinks it's okay. And I think it's just overdone. Like my kids will get snacks after a short t-ball game or something like that. And it won't just be one snack. It'll be 4 snacks and a sugary beverage, and, I have a lot to say about that, but I don't do it because it's mom guilt, and I'm kinda guilty of it too, but I try to, do and deal with it the best I can and try to provide something a little bit better if I can as well.
Yeah.
So, it's tough. I just think that if food is everywhere, right? We're celebrating and, sad, happy, it's birthday, it's a graduation, I don't know, you name it, right? It's
Everywhere.
always something.
Yes, and it's really processed food filled
Yes,
with all
yes.
these preservatives and
Yeah.
sugar, and it's how can you hide from it? How can you run from
Mhm.
it? Fight it, you know?
Yeah.
You should
And I
move.
can't without looking like the jerk mom. That's like,
Yeah.
I'm not giving anything. Here's your orange. See you later. It's like, okay, they need an orange, an apple, a fruit snack, a granola bar, and like a sugar-free Gatorade or something. I don't know. It's just a lot. So,
Well, we gotta
I
keep
don't know where we got off topic on that, but that is my spiel on the snack industry and whatnot.
But we gotta keep fighting. We gotta keep preaching
Yeah.
and getting them accountable, teaching them the good habits so that
Mhm.
they will. And as kids, I remember as a kid, I didn't listen to every single thing my parents told me to do. I mean, were you a
Yeah.
good kid? I don't know if I was a good kid, but
I don't know.
but now as an adult, you understand what they were teaching. So even if we're just reminding them and offering them the oranges, and
Mhm.
and they will rebel against you and want to
Mhm.
go for the, but eventually as adults they'll remember, oh well, mom always told us to do this, and maybe then they'll stick to this. So I'm just saying that we don't give up. We're gonna keep
Mhm.
trying. We have to keep fighting the good fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, I just think it is different than we were growing up too. It's just more of it. Like I don't remember snacking at, several times a day. And after my game, I had an orange and like it was water. It's just
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. That's true. Times have changed.
Mhm.
So, well, those are great tips. So I was the next question I like to ask my guests is, can you share something interesting that has happened to you recently, or something that you just learned about yourself that made you feel empowered?
I don't know about the empowered thing, but I will say I have 2 comments to this, I guess. One is the whole business thing. So I never wanted to own my own practice really, but I think that my dad really helped me with that, right? So he gave me a little bit of a push. And then we mutually know Dr. Una, and she has also given me a push, and knowing that I have, the ability to do it, right? Even as a physician, we may not have had any business training, but it's not bad. And it is empowering to be the boss, right? And realize I can do this. So
Mhm.
I think that part's exciting. But as far as something I learned about myself, I'll go back to the weight management stuff. So I guess even though I like sports and stuff, I kind of struggle with my weight pretty much since puberty. And I've been in and out of Weight Watcher. I wouldn't say in and out. I've actually been lifetime Weight Watchers. It just didn't go for, some period of time. But I didn't really learn as much about me and anything else until like I started studying obesity medicine and really understood everything of what's going on, right?
Right.
So I think that's when I would say it helped me lose. I don't know. Some people talk about losing the last 10 pounds or something. I don't know, maybe the last 5 or something. And so that's when I feel like really, like I was saying, listening to my body, that's when I started learning all that. But recently we've had all those celebrations that I was talking about since March, right? So I would call like a weight regain. I feel like I gained 5 pounds since March. And one thing that I learned is I'm like, okay, so what's going on? Why is this happening? I just, 5 pounds doesn't feel good on
Five
anybody.
pounds,
Yeah,
really?
I'm
That
just talking
sounds
about a
like,
little bit,
oh my
right?
gosh, you like how slim? 5 pounds. People are
I'm
comparing.
short.
People are getting like 20 pounds and 40
No, I
pounds
know.
and
But
having eaten.
everybody's different, right? So I'm talking about, I feel like I was comfortable and had the last 5, and then I feel like I regained, right? But this is my point is I caught it, right?
Yeah.
Because I do what the National Weight Registry recommends, which is weigh like every day or at least once a week, right? So I'm watching it go up, knowing something's off, right? So I am monitoring it, right? And just being curious of what's going on, right? But I
Yeah.
also log my food, right?
Okay.
So that's another way that people do really well successfully, right? They can, if you log your food, you can go back and look and see what's going on. And I was honest about it, I guess, because I could see all the extra stuff that I was eating.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was obvious that I wasn't, because I kept all my fitness things the same. So that was all the same. And then I knew that wasn't part of the equation. So I went back and looked at the food and I'm like, yeah, okay. I was
Food law.
really
Right.
indulging in everything. And I do think that I'm probably the kind of person where, let's just say for like March has a lot of birthdays in my family. We like cookie cake. So we get some cookie cake, right? But I'm the kind of person like I'm gonna crave it like for so much after I have it. So it's almost better to cut it out of my, life completely. Maybe not
Mm,
completely, but for a while. And then I won't crave it as much. So
right.
sometimes we talk about like sugar addiction or something like that, which I do think my
Mhm.
son has. But anyway, I feel better when I'm not on it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I mean, I feel like those are important things that I learned is, okay, I'm monitoring it and I caught it, right? And I can go back and look at my log and be accountable to myself
Mm-hmm.
and take a look at what was going on.
That's
And
very
honestly, I've
empowering.
never really thought about it like that before. That's why I thought it would be interesting to share.
It's very empowering for
Yeah.
you to be able to become so self-aware of your habits, of the things that trigger you, the birthday party
Mm-hmm.
in March. So you already know that this is a time that is going to make you go back to the habit of taking
Mm-hmm.
the excessive sugar. And now you're sticking to your routines of logging things down and you're keeping yourself accountable. I think that's most powerful thing. If you can become your own accountable, keep yourself accountable. That's the
Yeah.
most powerful thing. And then stop the habit, right?
Right.
When you see that you're indulging, but stop it at 5 pounds before it becomes 20.
Right, right. And
Right.
that's why I think weighing is so much important. Like, yeah, I would say, I'm in weight maintenance, if you even want to call it that, right? But
Yeah.
that's why you stop it then. And I didn't wait another 5, right? That's
Yeah.
why I was being picky about the number. Not, I don't
Oh,
think
okay,
it's that
got it.
much, but
Yeah.
like,
Yes, yes,
but
but
it's not because I stopped it where it was,
right,
right?
right,
And I'm
right.
not going to let it go back because I'm not going to go, shopping or something like that if
Yes,
I needed to
yes,
with higher clothes, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I really feel like I know what to do. And I think that's important because I need to share it with my patients. And I think it's a mini example of what I can share with the patients
Yeah.
too.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
powerful. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. What is your exercise routine like?
Hmm.
Is it
So
intense?
my third thing with the practical tips was
Right.
protein and resistance training. So
Okay.
um let's see. We do, I don't know if you've heard of Beachbody on Demand, but
Uh,
you have? Yeah.
yeah.
So there's a program by, I can't say his name, Amale Caesar. He does the work, and it's a lot of weights, and it's basically resistance training. And then it's a little bit of HIIT too, all combined into his program.
Right.
And
And
that's
he
the
does a lot
one
of
I have
dancing.
good
I think
success.
I've heard of it. Is a black guy, right? Beach
Yes,
body.
there's not dancing in that one though. They
Oh,
have tons and tons of different types of workouts. I
okay.
like the little bit more intense with the weights and stuff ones. So I do the basically weight training and HIIT twice a week, boxing or bar once a week, and then I run twice a week, and then I
Wow.
rest twice a week.
That is
I
intense.
think.
Oh my goodness. Do you do this
Yeah.
all on your own, or do you have like a
I have an
fitness
accountability partner.
fitness instructor that
No,
does it with you?
my
Oh.
husband. Yeah. No. Well, we swap, running days because of the kids and stuff, but we do the weights and stuff together. And
Okay.
that helps. Yeah, definitely. Accountability partner. We get up in the morning. I
Mhm.
make him get up, sometimes to his chagrin. And and then we check it off our list. The first thing done in the morning, eat the
Oh,
frog.
that's amazing. That's great. That
Hmm.
is so cool. Wins all the way and stay
Hmm.
healthy. And then now you'll
Yep.
be able to share with your patients. And,
Hmm.
when I think it's very powerful when physicians are in keeping this routine and sharing it
Hmm.
with their patients. So it's not like you're just giving them a prescription and just saying,
Right.
you go do this. You can say, well, I do this. And that's why I'm telling you to do it because this is how
Hmm.
it works. And this is how that's been helpful to me. It says, like, you know what I mean? Like, they'll
Right.
trust
Yeah.
you even more. Have you found
Hmm.
that happen? Have you found that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think they, like to take your example, lead from example, right? So I
Right,
think they
right.
do feel in that way. I'm looking to not power, partner with some like maybe physical therapists or trainers that can help create a program to really help people start resistance training if they don't know where to start,
That's a great idea. That's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And where can people find you if
Yes.
they wanted to work with this amazing doctor that practices exactly what she preaches?
Oh, I don't know about that. I try, right? Uh, so I am in Clearwater and Palm Harbor, Florida. And you can find me on Instagram at Clearwater Family Medicine and Facebook at Clearwater Family Medicine and Allergy. And then our website is www.cfma.health because we're in the business of health. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank
Mhm.
you. And
Thank
you
you.
can find us at youngerselfmd.com, and I'm on Instagram, and our phone number is 404-566-4623. We're currently accepting new patients. Give us a call so we can help you with your internal medicine and nephrology needs. And see you next time.
Bye. Thank you for
Bye.
having me.
Thank you.